Streaming. All right, this is a test of a live stream I use for storm chasing, and the big difference here is that we, I think, have fixed some of the settings to make this work a little bit better. I have reestablished the cabin cam and changed the settings on my dash cam to a slightly lower resolution. We'll see if that works. I changed a couple of other things like the bit rate and latency, and still have the radar up there. I can still turn on mesoscale analysis right there and manipulate that if I want to and show it to viewers. Okay. So that's all that. Audio's still there. Probably the biggest difference is that all of this is being broadcast via Starlink mobile, which I have hooked up to my skylight right up here. So, and I'm taking a look at my stats here. Drop frames on the network. I'm looking live. Seems like 70 to 71% of my frames are getting dropped. So I think that's interesting. That seems still really, really, really high. Although frames missed due to rendering lag, 2%. See here. I don't know if there's anything else I can do. I've got a bit rate that's varying between 2,000 and 4,000. I also chose to ignore YouTube's settings on this. So really the only thing I'm going to be able to do here is just drive a little bit because I'm testing both the ability of this thing to Starlink to provide, but also the settings on in OBS Studio. So I did test Starlink the other day, just driving around. Got some really good results. My upload speeds were, not impressive by home standards, but they were anywhere between 10 to 15. And and when I tested Verizon's tethering in my house, I never really got anything better than 5 or 6. So already I more than doubled that. If that indeed is what is important, I don't know. But I mean, I'm looking at it in OBS and everything appears to be working. And some of the questions that we'll always ask here are, do I need this? Do I need for you guys to see me? I would say the answer is probably no, not all the time. Maybe I can choose to do that. And maybe a good idea would be to swap out that camera with the dash cam. I don't know. We're just kind of doing this, and basically I'm going to go back and end this feed, check and see what happens. Starlink Mobile is $50 a month for 50 50. I think it's gigabytes of transfer, and depending on the length of a chase, how many chases I do a month, I can run out real quick. But so this is just really a test. That what has me concerned in OBS is that one of my fonts is red. So to me, that's telling me that, oh boy, this thing is struggling. So we'll go back and check. But yeah, the Starlink update is good. I have it mounted in my, as I said, I have it mounted in my skylight sunroof, and it works just fine. I maybe detected slight differentials in what direction I was driving in. Satellite, I think, Starlink wants to point slightly north. I can't always guarantee that. But it does seem to work just fine in different conditions. So I think that's going to be okay. But I think that the settings in OBS probably need a lot more tweaking. See what kind of the ideal match is here to see what we can do. But I'll leave this on for a few more seconds and then probably stop it. Go back and basically check YouTube and see how it looks. So I'm getting ready to get on 65 here in Springfield. Starlink mobile, when it was first released, you really couldn't move. Now you can drive, and I had it up to 65 miles per hour, almost 70 miles per hour the other day. There doesn't seem to be any consistent problems with connecting. Where Starlink is working by always looking for the best satellites. So I guess the theory is that there's always several available no matter what you're doing. So they go into a lot about ideal alignment, but I think really you just kind of accept the fact that if it's mounted to be looking straight up, that you're going to get some variance as satellites pass overhead, which is low orbit satellites that are constantly moving around. And so latency is, from the satellite's perspective, is not that bad. But anyway, so we'll keep this going for a few more seconds here and see how we did. Write all my settings down and then try again in a minute. Actually, what I'll do is get off here and shut it down and do a test. So I come to a stop here. I still got a lot of things to fill in. That target area obviously is an old crawl. I've still got some background space issues, and I could do fancier things like put borders around my sources and things like that. There's also transition moves you could make, like if I change scenes, it would automatically make one bigger and one small. So those are all fancy things. I don't really need to be doing that at this particular second, but eventually. So let's go here. Sam's. Just get me stationary here so I can stop the stream. Was okay. That's test number 1.